Hello guys, good time of day to everyone. Welcome to my channel. My name is dataninja and I've been working with Python for a long time. Now I decided to demonstrate you how fast and easy to prototype something with Flask. Today's challenge is tiny URL, sort of. So what I'm gonna do, as you see, I'm gonna create a Flask application with SQLite and SQLAlchemy. It will be able to add a new URL. It will be able to save it to the database. It will return the shortened URL. When the shortened URL is called, it will redirect to the original URL. The shortened URLs will be unique in the database. It will accept the same input more than once. It is important because let's say one user wanna shorten the URL for cnn.com and the other one wants the same. So he should be able to do that. It should not be production ready, of course, and a dedicated 404 and 500 page. Okay, so I went to the Flask documentation page and I checked the quick start part and except the SQLAlchemy, I think I have everything what I need for this project. So let's start with creating a new virtual environment. Let's activate it. And let's install Flask and SQLAlchemy. All right, just to save time, I will freeze the database, not the database, but installed packages. So if you check the requirements, actually it lists all the dependencies, all the project dependencies with the proper versions. So next time, if I push it to GitHub and one of you wants to recreate the experience, he just needs to install it from the requirements file. Let me demonstrate it to you. Let's say we don't have the environment. I'm deleting it. I'm creating it as environment again. Activating it. I have the exactly same versions as it listed in the requirements file. Okay, so we are getting there. Let's create the app.py. Go to the documentation and get the minimal Flask application. I'm gonna tweak it to be able to do whatever I want. So next I'm gonna add the form. I don't need the scripts part. I just need that one, and I'm gonna add an h1 and the form to the body. For that to work, I need to import the render template. Because by default, Flask searches for templates in the templates folder. Let's run the application. Okay. If I navigate here, Sorry, I killed the application. I have this form. Great. So now I need to add two routes. First is for showing the form and posting it. And the second one should be when someone calls the shortened version of the URL. So for that, I'm going to change this route because I will accept the post and get. Request method is post. I need to import request. I will do the database saving, and at the end I will render the index template. Okay, so if the request method is post, I need the SQLAlchemy part. So I went to the SQLAlchemy documentation and I just copied and tweaked some of the code. So first, this is where our database will stay. It's gonna be the short underscore URLs. So from the documentation, they suggest me to create a base class. Once I have the base class, I can create based on the base class. Table name is gonna be URLs. ID is gonna be mapped column. I need to import integer as well. String, I'm pretty sure I will need. And also it's gonna be primary key. Short URL is also gonna be a mapped column. It's gonna be string. Let's say it is 50 characters long. And it should not be nullable. So it always has to have a value. And as one of the requirement states, it should be unique. And the original URL also mapped column, string. I'm not gonna specify the length. Also, it can be null. That wouldn't be, but it can be null. Okay. I can say it is never null. Okay. And finally, all right. So basically, I have the model. Let's say I start it in the debug mode, and if I import something from the model, I will need the URLs and the session. So as you see, because I started in the debug mode, it watches the files and it detected change in the app.py and reloaded. And because URLs and sessions are imported from models, it created the short URLs SQLite and the database what I requested. But if I check the content, actually it is empty. All right. Now I'm going to save the data into the database. I don't want to waste your time, so I'm just copy pasting what I already did. Okay, so I need to import random. From Flask, Flash function. Okay, so it seems okay, and also a string. So what I'm doing here, so if the request method is post, this route accepts the post and the get methods. If the request method is post, or if it's not true, both cases it will render the index HTML. So if the request method is post, it extracts the long URL from the index HTML, and it generates a short URL basically from this list, ASCII letter string digits. K equals 6 means it will generate a 6 long string. I'm creating a new URL entry, the short URL and the original URL, what I got. And I'm adding it to the session and committing, and I'm flashing the message. All right. So let's see how it goes. Let's pick a URL, for example, this one. Okay, runtime error, session is error because no secret key was set. I know what is this error. App secret key has to set to something. And the Flask documentation says for example, this is one of the ways how you can get a really good secret key. I'm just copying it, adding it here. And I'm running the application again. So, but when I check the table, this is the URL that I posted, and actually I got a short URL. I got this error because it wanted to use a session, and without the app secret key, it just wasn't able to do that. But right now it is able to do that. But if I post it again, the view function, however, did not return a valid response. What? I see. What is the problem? I have to return this. Okay. So let's run it again. Ta-da. Okay. If I go back, I'm checking the table. I have 3 different short URLs. So it works. Okay. So I flashed the message, but I need to find a way how to show it here. Luckily, I already did it. I just copied it from the SQLAlchemy documentation, and the get flashed messages gets all the messages which was flashed from the server side. If there is any message, blah blah, it loops through it and shows it. That's so simple. So go back and get another URL. Let's shorten it. And actually I have two flashed messages, so it shows both of them, but I'm not happy with that because I just want to see the actual shortened version of the URL. So to be able to do that, I don't need to flash the original URL. I need to flash back the request URL route and the short URL. Short URL, I have it. Okay, so let's see how it goes. Pick some different. Pick a random article, go back, and I got a URL, and if I check it in the database, yes, the CNN article has this version. Okay. Okay, now I'm gonna implement the jump function because okay. So the jump function, it takes anything after the URL. It queries the URLs, filters for the short URL, the first, which is part of the URL here. If the entry is found, it redirects to the original URL, otherwise it renders the index.html. So let's see how it goes. So if I take it and I paste it here, it immediately jumps to the CNN article. Now let's check what we have left in the what.txt. So it is a Flask application. It uses SQLite. I'm able to add a new URL. It saves the new URL shortened version to the database. It returns the shortened URL as a Flask message. If the shortened URL is called, it redirects the original URL. Okay. In the database, the shortened URL should be unique. This part I don't have it. It should accept the same input URL more than once. Did it as well. It should not be production ready. It's automatically true. So I have three things left. Shortened URL should be unique. I mean, when someone posts a new URL, I just cannot take this. First, I have to check if there is any URL in the database with the exactly same short URL. If there is, I have to regenerate a new one until I find something which is unique. That's the first one, and the 404 and 500 page, that's going to be easy. Okay, for the unique short URL, what I'm going to do, I'm going to generate a short URL, and I will check in the database if there is any entry with that short URL, and if I find someone, I'm generating a new one. Okay, this is how it's going to look like. I'm getting a session, I'm querying the URLs, I'm filtering for that short URL, and while entry is not none, if entry is not none, it means I managed to find one. In that case, I'm going to generate a new one and running the query again. Okay, and for that, once I have something really unique, I can save it into database. Let's check it. Oh, I will need to write test for it, but it just works. Okay, so let's go for the next part, 404 and 500 error pages. So right now, if I make a change, for example, I make a mistake here. If I go to the page, it gives me a name error, render template, render template is not found. Okay, let's check the documentation. Error, login, redirects and errors. Okay, up arrow handler. Under the redirects and errors on Flask documentum page, I managed to find this section. By default, black and white error page shown for each error code. If you want to customize the page, you can use the error handler decorator. So that's what I'm gonna do for 404, and I'm gonna do the same for 500 errors and all the exceptions. Okay, so here, let's copy the error handler. It's reloaded. So if I type a URL, which not supposed to be handled, I'm getting back the page not found page, this 404. Okay, let's see how to invoke this error HTML. It's gonna be very similar. So for all the 500s and all the exceptions, I'm gonna invoke this error page. How to test it? Okay, it's reloaded. And notice, guys, if I do this, even if I have an exception, because the 404 handler was triggered before, I'm not seeing that. But if I try to load the page because of this exception, it's got triggered. So, guys, this is for you for today. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and see you in the next one.